All right, welcome back to Tomboy Official. Welcome to the podcast. I'm gonna continue that small conversation of my queer dating about meeting through connections. Now I've probably explained this before, but I do tend to be kind of like a really private person about, not really about dating, but about when I'm trying to kind of like build on on something with somebody, like kind of like meeting someone, trying to like develop like a deeper connection with them. I don't usually like there to be other people around. So that for me makes it a little different to, meet people when I'm meeting through a connection with somebody else. If I'm meeting through a connection with somebody else, sometimes I'm just like if somebody's introducing me, or if I just happen to introduce myself, or engage with somebody, when I start, talking to them, like when I'm with my friend who knows them or whatever, it's kind of chill, casual, like whatever. But if we're going to go like a step past that, usually I don't want that friend around there anymore. Like, of course, I still want to be friends with them and everything and hang out, but, I want to get to know this person kind of privately without an audience or anything like that. Like, I get a little, I don't think it's self-conscious. I mean, I would say I am shy. I can get self-conscious, but I get a little, it's kind of okay, the best I can describe this. So, like I talked about before, like I had a friend who had a friend out of town, that I was vibing with for the day of, we were having a party, and, I was invited to this party, and I was with all these friends, and, the friend of the friend, the out of town person, was, a little flirty, a little friendly, a little, we were kind of like having fun, playing games, like a little bit of that back and forth kind of thing. And one thing I noticed was, one of my friends was kind of not attentive, but like was paying attention to that situation. And it kind of made me be like, do I need to back off? Like, it was a different friend. It wasn't the friend who had invited their out of town person, their friend, to come visit and hang out and be at this party with this group. It wasn't that friend. It was another friend in our group who was kind of not watching. I don't want to say it was watching. It wasn't like that intense, but I kind of noticed them, glancing and recognizing that I was talking to this other person, and how we were interacting and how they were interacting with me. Like that person, the out of town person, was being a little, not like hands-on, like aggressively, but kind of like, on occasion they were like linking arms, or maybe like touching my arm, or like they weren't being non-physical at all, but it wasn't bothering me. And I kind of noticed, other people kind of noticed this, and I was just kind of like, to me it was a little like, okay, I don't really want to be like, I would have rather had that situation going on just alone in a corner somewhere, or on a different day without those other friends around. Like, once it starts getting to that level, if there's like a flirty person or something, I tend to want to be alone with them. I don't want to be like there when they're kind of like, doing whatever they're doing. It makes me kind of be more like, okay, like, not that I don't want them to do it, but I don't really want other people kind of like observing or, witnessing or being there. I don't want to, it's a bit of a distraction for me to like notice them while I'm trying to like interact with this other person, and then seeing that they are there and watching or noticing what's happening with me. And I kind of just don't prefer that. That's just not a preference of mine. I don't usually want that. I don't usually want to see this person. I don't usually want the person to be like I don't want to be a spectacle. I don't think it's a spectacle, but I just prefer to just keep certain things like that to myself. So that's kind of the harder part for me with meeting people through other connections, is like, if we're having fun, I kind of prefer to do that alone, with them, with that new person, not with the new person, still with my friend group, with everybody still there. And then, like, I'm kind of, I don't really like, I gotta turn this heater off. It was like 69 degrees in this house, which for me is cold. And now the sun is out, and shining brightly, and now I'm getting a little warm. So let me get rid of this heater. Bear with me. All right. It's set actually for 62 or 72. Sorry, gosh, 62 would be freezing. It's set for 72. So it keeps turning on because the house is freaking cold. But I have the sun shining in through my room window, and so it's actually bright and warm. So yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of like, I don't really like to be like, I don't like saying spectacle. It kind of feels like a spectacle. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It feels like a spectacle. It feels like I'm kind of being put on the spot, especially because, a lot of people don't really see me in that kind of mode where I'm like, interacting with people like that, like either in a flirting mode or in a mode where I'm like having an interest in somebody. Like, usually people don't see that side of me a lot. A lot of people might not know what I'm interested in or who I'm interested in and all those types of things. And so naturally, I do notice that there does tend to be this kind of a curiosity when I am with somebody and that kind of thing is going on. There does seem to be this bit of a curiosity that people have that I don't like to share. Like, I don't want, a lot of times, that curiosity, like, I want to kind of keep it to myself. And, you know, I kind of just value my privacy on things. And, you know, it's not because I don't trust my friends, but I am very I'm definitely sensitive to how people act. I'm sensitive to people's reactions. I'm sensitive to what people know about me, kind of how they learn about it. I'm very big into one-on-one or just kind of small group conversations. Like there's some people I met that kind of brought to my attention that, you know, I kind of prefer getting to know people in a more like intimate setting. And I feel like there's a lot of friends that I have that we almost not fully not 100% fully, but almost exclusively we hang out in kind of like a dating type of setting, like a, is that the right way of explaining it? Kind of like a dating type of setup, like a sorry, I didn't mean that. I mean, we kind of almost exclusively hang out in a party type of setup. And so, you know, when trying to throw in dating in the mix to, you know, that, you know, or trying to like mingle and meet somebody in a setting where, you know, we're just partying as a friend group and then there's like a new person there, you know, that's a different setting than, you know, the setting where you're just kind of having coffee together or having dinner together or going on a hike or hanging out at the beach at a kickback or something like that. To me, those are like different types of environments, like beach parties and that kind of stuff are a lot more chill. Bonfires, if it's like a nighttime thing, a lot of that stuff is a lot more chill. So yeah, that's kind of, I guess, what I wanted to expand on. Kind of like, there is that kind of like meeting people through connections, but then kind of like on a more personal level for my own self, I do kind of prefer that kind of like privacy to be there. And, you know, before I was kind of labeling it as insecurity, you know, like a nervousness, a shyness, but it's not, you know, when I think about it more from my viewpoint today, I'm not feeling like it's like that's what it is. Like, it's not like I'm insecure. Like, I don't want to put a negative spin on it. It's just, that's just kind of a preference, you know, if that's the way I prefer things to be, even though I kind of know my friends would rather have me be like out and like, you know, just like blah, you know, like just like, you know, full force, like drunken mode, like just, you know, wilding out kind of, you know, I know a lot of my friends would prefer to see that side of me more often. But, you know, that's not really the side of myself that I need to feel like I'm doing all the time. I'm kind of, you know, I like to be calm. You know, I like to have like more intimate settings, and it helps me to be more like authentic and genuine. Like, people know that they're getting the side of me that's like not the drunken side of me, or not the blitzed out of my mind side of me, and not the side of me that's like, you know, on something. You know, it's the side of me that you're gonna see on a regular basis, not the side of me that's like out and like, you know, running around like you know, like I've never gotten out of my cage for like weeks and now I'm just like running around like that. So, which is, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like I kind of don't prefer to meet people when I'm in that state of mind. Like, usually I'm like, yeah, if we're on a dance floor and we're just gonna be like if somebody's like touching on me or whatever, and we're on a dance floor and I'm just like in the moment having fun with it, I'm not gonna be necessarily like, hey, let's like meet up and like go get coffee and like, it's like, no, we're just here dancing and we're having fun, and I don't mind. You can touch whatever. If that's the mindset I'm in, that's the mindset I'm in. I tend to not really mix the two, honestly. Like, I'll give out my number. I've given out my number to plenty of people, but if they don't call back or whatever, or want to contact me back, then I usually just kind of leave it at that. But, I like seeing, I like some cute ladies sometimes, and I'm just like, all right, like, and if they show an interest and they're nice, that's all it takes. Like, if they show an interest and they're nice, I'm usually down to just chill at least for a little while, like I'm not gonna usually write people off unless they're like making me uncomfortable or doing something a little like weird that kind of throws me off in a way that makes me uncomfortable. Like, unless I'm uncomfortable for some reason, usually I just don't mind. But maybe that's combining two different topics in one, but I feel like they're related, because it's like, it's just kind of one way I view things versus another, and maybe I'm rigid in it, but it's just my comfort level, it's just naturally how I am. But yeah, with that, thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for listening.